Hello everyone, AMHarbinger here, and I'm going to refer to the current epidemic that's spreading throughout the world as the C virus. We're going to pretend this is the Resident Evil universe because lots of large YouTubers are reporting they're getting demonetized because they mention the name that should not be named, and I don't want to poke the bear as many times as I've already poked the bear unintentionally. I'm going to stop now before it breaks out of his cage. So the C virus has been spreading throughout the world and causing a lot of calamity, and the gaming industry is no different. Before PAX East occurred, companies like PlayStation pulled out of the event. This was particularly devastating for fans because this was the first time The Last of Us Part 2 was going to be featured as a demo available to the public, so no one got to play that. Final Fantasy VII Remake was still there, but Square Enix reported that the publisher said it would be scaling back its panel experiences, sign-in sessions, and fan gatherings. They still had them, but they were much more limited, and Capcom completely pulled out of the event. They stated that they also postponed the reveal event for the next update for Monster Hunter World, which introduces two new tempered monsters. I'm super excited for that. Can't wait to play that. And it's been spread into manufacturing and the development of new gaming products and video games. For example, the port for The Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch was delayed due to the C virus and hasn't been given a new release date as far as I know. And of course, Bungie recently stated that today we have activated this full remote work infrastructure and policy for all Bungie employees across the globe, with the goals of prioritizing the safety of our employees and continuing to develop and deliver on on a game we love for our community. They're talking about Destiny 2. And they stated that they will still be moving forward with the season of Worthy on March 10th and the Trials of Osiris on March 13th. So they're implementing a work schedule which allows individuals to work at home. But perhaps the biggest news came with GDC. Microsoft, Sony, Epic Games, Facebook, Iron Galaxy Studios, Unity, and so many exhibitors and presenters, including Hideo Kojima, pulled out of the event, citing the C virus being the reason. And GDC was just simply, it wasn't canceled, it was postponed, which is particularly devastating for attendees and indie developers who have to eat the cost or try and get a refund for this. So it is very devastating for a lot of individuals. But of course, many of these companies are putting their employees first, which is incredibly noble. They should always put their employees first. The next huge event to happen is E3 2020, which has a lot of people concerned that the C virus will also impact the event as well. So back in January, they posted this news article. We like to cut right to the chase. We've listened to the feedback from our media partners, attendees, and the industry at large. We are committed to keeping E3 at the level you've come to expect. You'll be happy to know that we're not producing E3 2020 in a vacuum. For E3, we're collaborating with industry insiders and new creative partners, including the tastemakers at I Am 8-Bit, to reinvigorate the show and frankly to shake things up. We are well down the path on the development and production of a large, super fun fan experience that celebrates gaming culture in exciting new ways. Without revealing too much, here's a taste. We will be showcasing E3 to the world through new streaming and digital programming while creating gatherings on the show floor that let people do what they love most, play and celebrate games. We'll have surprise guests, amazing stage experiences, access to insiders and experimental zones that delight the senses. It will be incredibly inclusive, celebrating all aspects of our industry. So it sounded with this article they were trying to combine elements from PAX and Comic-Con for this huge spectacular event, and it sounded promising until February when Jeff Keighley, who's been part of the E3 event since the beginning, stating he would not be part of the event for E3 2020, stating in February, "For the past 25 years, I've attended every E3. Covering, hosting, and sharing E3 has always been a highlight of my year, not to mention a defining moment of my career. I've debated what to say about E3 2020. While I wanted to support the developers who will showcase their work, I also need to be open and honest with you, the fans, about precisely what to expect from me. I have made the difficult decision to decline to produce E3 Coliseum for the first time in 25 years. I will not be participating in E3. I look forward to supporting the industry in other ways and at other events in the future. So unfortunately, that happened. Jeff Keighley said he would be answering questions on social, and he hasn't given a real direct answer of why he's not attending E3, but most importantly, he's been stating that it's because he has creative differences with the ESA, as far as I can tell. And despite the C virus spreading and causing incredible alarm, valid alarm across the United States, the ESA says they're moving forward with E3 2020, stating everyone is watching the situation very closely, said the ESA in a statement to Vice Game. We will continue to be vigilant as our first priority is the health, wellness, and safety of all our exhibitors and attendees, as it should be. Given what we know at this time, we are moving full speed ahead with E3 2020 planning. Exhibit and registration sales are on track for an exciting show in June. But of course, on March 4th, 2020, the city of Los Angeles declared a state of emergency today. So this is here from the LA Times. The governor declared a state of emergency in California over the C virus. So yeah, that doesn't look incredibly promising. And if that wasn't enough, another nail just hit the coffin with IM8-Bit pulling out of the event. It's with mixed emotions that IM8-Bit has decided to resign as creative directors of what was to be an evolutionary E3 2020 floor experience. We produced hundreds of gaming plus community events, and it was a dream to be involved with E3. We wish the organizers the best of luck. And E3 is only 3 months away, so that is particularly devastating. The ESA has stated the issue, have updated their website, stating they are aware of the state of emergency in California, and they gave us more information how to avoid the spread of infection as based on guidelines from the CDC. And well, this is incredibly problematic. With the event only 3 months away, I wonder if they have a backup plan. If someone else is going to take over as creative directors, is there going to be more people who pull out? Already Nintendo has been hosting their own directs. Nintendo is still part of E3. They still have a huge exhibit booth. They have lots of games, as far as I can tell. Like last year, they had Pokemon Sword and Shield in this epic arena, which was fantastic. But in terms of presentations, they go for Nintendo Direct. Same thing for PlayStation. PlayStation decided they're not going to be part of E3 2020. And that's been another issue. Microsoft, yeah, for me, I've been going to E3 for the last 2 years, and Microsoft always does their own thing across from the show floor. We have the show floor, then you go down the street and you get to see this huge presentation, and it's by a Smashburger, and Microsoft has their own hosted arena, like their own presentation with their games and everything. You have to wait online to get inside. It takes a while to get there, but they're mostly isolated. But either way, this is hugely devastating to E3. If it does get postponed, it would be even more devastating to indie developers and attendees. They'll have to see if they can cancel on plane tickets and rearrange schedules, just like with GDC. And not to mention for people like myself, I love going to E3. It's a chance to talk and make new network connections. In fact, I've gotten a lot of press contacts through E3. I would go to the event, talk to people I've been interacting with on the internet and through other outlets. I would get introduced to people through those network connections. For example, I met 505 Games, Bandai Namco, Sony, Bethesda, all these companies, and got it added to their mailing list because I met them at E3. Not to mention colleagues like my friends Eduardo and Calum introduced me to companies like CD Projekt Red and got me into the press list for Nintendo. So there are a lot of reasons for small people like myself to look forward to E3 as a huge networking event. And if this happens, well, right now I'm on the fence of whether I want to attend E3 because I live in New York State and traveling all the way to California is a huge issue because, again, it's very expensive and I would have to eat the cost if they postponed it or canceled it, and that would be devastating. But there are a lot of factors. Like, I would really want to go to E3 2020, but of course, the C virus is also another thing I'm a bit concerned about. I don't want to go there, and then, yeah, the unfortunate happens. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think E3 2020 is going to be postponed or canceled? Do you think this is the end of E3? If it does happen, that this is just the end of it, and more companies are just going to say we're just going to go digital with our presentation and host a stream on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. Also, like, subscribe, comment. It does help me out a lot, especially nowadays where YouTube is becoming a little more fickle of how they share videos and whether they even notify your subscribers. Either way, thank you for stopping by, and stay awesome, everyone.